And welcome back to the Weekly Tech Rant with me, Jay.
Me, Karl.
And episode 247. As I speak through a mouthful of cake, I do apologise. I mistimed that completely. Mistimed it. Yes, we are back, and this week, quite a meaty lineup of stories for you. We are going to talk a couple of things we mentioned last week. So the eBay GameStop offer. Well, you can imagine where that's gone. We'll tell you about that in just a second. Apple has reportedly struck a deal with Intel to use Intel-made chips once again. We've got Meta, and they can't count, apparently, in their recent fight with Ofcom.
Well, there's a dispute about what they should be counting.
Indeed. And we've got Meta. Sorry, we talked Meta. Forza Horizon is coming out in the next week. But if you've already been playing Forza Horizon 6, you may not be playing it ever again, at least for the next 8,000 years. Steam machines. There's an update on the new Steam machines, which may be more than plural, or more than one, I should say, plural Steam machines. Have you heard of the Google Book? Yep, pause there, definitely. The Google Book. What's a Google Book? Well, apparently we are getting Google Books, which is the next evolution of a Chromebook. And Google have also released their new Fitbit Air, which we'll talk about in a second. Yes. And the Tech Rant Rumour bucket is back in play this afternoon as well. So with that then, let's kick off first story of the week, which just because, let's be honest, we knew where this was going to end up. eBay categorically rejecting...
yes. GameStop's offer, wasn't it? Yeah.
Well, I was just going to see. I was thinking how to word that, but yeah, I don't think you can word it any other way. Apart from what was their statement? Neither credible nor attractive, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So this is where was it? Was it last week? Wasn't it? GameStop offered was $125 a share, half cash, half GameStop stock. GameStop stock, Ian. Basically a 20% premium over eBay's current stock price. Yeah, but obviously they couldn't really explain where all the money was coming from, could they? There was a definite 15 billion hole in the funding proposal.
That's a big hole, I should argue.
That's a big hole, exactly. So, yeah, eBay has officially responded with a rejection letter, basically, as you said, calling it neither credible nor attractive from their chairman, Paul Pressler. But also basically saying that eBay is in a strong position. It's executed a turnaround to better compete with Amazon, as consistently returning capital to shareholders.
Yeah.
I mean, look, eBay boasts 136 million users. There's 80 billion a year being spent on the platform. They are making 11.6 billion in revenue. Well, they did last year anyway. That's from company commissions, advertisement payments, etc. However, this may not be the end of it. There are rumours abound that GameStop may be into a hostile takeover.
Good luck with that. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to tempt the eBay shareholders directly or even its board. Yeah, I don't know. Look,
to do a hostile takeover, you've got to at least be in a position to do that. So you've got to take a significant control in an organisation, haven't you?
Yes.
Or put an offer on the table that means that their shareholders would be foolish to decline it. But given GameStop's position, their market, market value, and as we know, the hole in the finances here, you're right. There's nothing that I can think of here of anything credible that would be that eBay would go, you know what, we capitulate. You've won. Please come take us.
I mean, if they explained how they were going to fill that 15 billion gap, a concrete plan, you might have a temp shareholders. A 20% premium is quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
But he's been asked multiple times and can't explain it, so I don't think it's going anywhere.
No, it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere at all. And given the troubles that GameStop are having, there was that, massive short, wasn't there, the other year where all those Reddit investors tried to basically do the company over and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Which I think has just been turned into a film, isn't it? Or a Netflix doc. I can't remember.
Could well have been.
But, they've closed hundreds of their stores in the US because they need to cover their costs and trying to boost their cap. As we talked about last time, GameStop CEO Ryan Cohen is under pressure here to meet certain criteria to ensure that he gets a huge payout, isn't it? I think it's a 100 billion market cap, according to
100 billion market cap. We'll get him 35 billion in stock options.
Exactly. So there's other things at play here. But look, eBay have done the one thing we thought they were going to do. you didn't need to be a rocket scientist to work out how this was going to end. And
No.
if they're going to go with the hostile takeover, well, good luck on that. That's all I can say, really.
Yeah. Next story though, something we didn't. Well, I'm surprised to see it happening. Apple may have Intel inside again, but not x86. So apparently, the deal has been done that Intel will now produce chips for Apple, ARM chips, obviously, produced in America, as far as I'm aware. And this is, I think, it's a good call from Apple. They need to diversify from TSMC, especially as they're no longer TSMC's top customer. That's down to Nvidia. But also, we don't know what's going to happen with Taiwan. So, I think diversifying to people other than TSMC and in other geographical locations is a good call.
Absolutely. So this is based off some analytical reporting by our favorite analyst Michin Kuo, wasn't it? And the Wall Street Journal announced the same thing, that said this deal had been struck. It didn't specify what the processes were, but it looks to be based on rumors that it could be leveraging the 18A node that Intel have. This could be more for low-end devices rather than the M series high-end silicon. But it still means, as you say, they're diversifying their supply chain. Apple gets to also say that they've got made in America, effectively, isn't it? Components here. And we go from there. And also Intel get back a big customer, which is, one that they lost,
And it's and they're not getting rid of the TSMC for these particular chips. They'll be produced in both. So the rumor is it'll be like probably the M7 for your low end Macs and iPads, and maybe the low end iPhone chips, the non-pro kind of versions, possibly starting next year or 2028.
But there's been some concern over that, though, isn't there? Around are they going to be able to meet the demand?
Well, I suppose you still carry on using TSMC, and then you just wait for Intel to ramp up, and then you bring it down with TSMC. You play the balancing game.
Yeah, but I think, though, Intel's foundry operations, which, I mean, I wouldn't argue that they've probably been pushing the capacity which they once had. And then Apple is going to want regular on-time deliveries, aren't they? And the ability to scale up and down as they go, which TSMC... have built a whole industry around, haven't they, really? Yeah, absolutely. So I think, diversification here, great deal for Intel. The reality will be in how does this, look long term with their
I mean, it was good for Intel. It definitely helped their share price, didn't it? Jumped 15% on the news. Shares are up over 10% this year alone. Bumped Apple shares by 2%, so kind of minor. Well, I say minor. It's an Apple share. It's worth a lot of money, but you know what I mean.
I mean, Apple is still trading over for close to $4.5 trillion, so I think they can afford it. But yes, I think to your point, this is better business deal for Intel, given what they wanted. But also, we don't forget, was it last year we reported that the US government had taken a
10% stake?
Was it? I was going to say, they did some deal with some bonds, didn't they, or grants into Intel stock.
I'd argue that was also a hostile takeover.
Well, yeah, and that was probably a driver, I suspect, in Apple coming to the table here. Also, don't forget that the currently, well, I think it's wrapping up today, isn't it? That Trump has been visiting President Xi Jinping in China, and Tim Cook has been in attendance along with several other CEOs. So I wonder what's been discussed there on that front.
We will see.
So, so we've got eBay saying no. We've got Intel and Apple saying yes. What we got about Meta then?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, Meta has launched a legal challenge against the UK's commerce regulator, Ofcom, on how it calculates fees and potential penalties under the Online Safety Act. So, obviously, the Online Safety Act came out some point last year, wasn't it? And one of the things was if you were large enough and you fell underneath it and you didn't comply, they could fine you 10% of qualifying worldwide revenue, or 18 million, whichever is higher. That's kind of the crux for Meta, though. They brought in 201 billion last year globally. So 10% of that's a lot of money. Probably one of the largest fines, ever.
Ever?
Yeah. So Meta is seeking a judicial review in the High Court on how it defines qualifying worldwide revenue. So basically, they say it should only be considered for UK revenue tied to regulated services, not global income. Well, of course, Ofcom says it should be global. I kind of agree, and I know why Ofcom is saying global, because companies like Meta, large companies, like to hide their money, don't they? And shift it around. So, all of a sudden, the UK will be an unprofitable arm, and there'll be no money in it because it's been shifted and hidden under different things like R&D and other bits and pieces, and all of a sudden the fines are non-existent because there's allegedly no money there to base the fine on. So, doing it at a global level, unless you're hiding it on the moon, there's no way around that one, is there?
Careful what you say there, because you know what happened next. There'll be the interplanetary.
I've given someone an idea, haven't I?
Yeah. But you're right, and given a lot of these companies tend to position their UK arms in Ireland and other places. I know Ireland isn't part of the UK, but they do it as a class as European, don't they, and headquarter themselves outside of the UK. You're right. I would imagine the revenue from UK only business is a small drop in the grand scheme of things. And you're right. At that point, as you say, they've got a get out clause. They can argue, well, yeah, we can't pay the fine because we haven't earned a lot of money, really. So sorry about this.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same with tax, isn't it? It's all loopholes. So do it at the global level, and you can't really hide that.
No, and this, if you recall, the Ofcom was in a similar battle with X, weren't they, around the regulatory elements there. And I did see something today that said that apparently X has voluntarily agreed to review the Ofcom concerns and complaints. Remember, they were ignoring it, weren't they? Do you remember?
Yes, yes.
The email address it was going to was getting, I'm sure it was either a spam box or something, wasn't it? That it was disappearing.
Well, they do with everything, X, yeah.
But now apparently I did see that they have agreed to, I'd say, from a voluntary perspective, to review the data and things like that. So something's changing here. But if you don't, I think with a lot of these things, if you don't have teeth in these regulations, nothing happens, does it?
Exactly. There has to be a large stick behind it. Otherwise, they'll just do what they want to do.
Yeah, but this is going to be a landmark case in that situation, because whatever happens here, other companies are going to be looking at this very carefully to see the outcome and how it's going to affect them. And when I say other companies, we know US-based social media companies is exactly what I mean by that, of course.
Yeah.
So it's 201 billion to 18.
10% of that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, But what was it saying? 18, wasn't it? Worldwide revenue were 18 million. So I reckon they'd rather pay 18 million than they would do 10% of 201. But
yeah, well, they have to pay whichever is higher. So they ain't paying 18 million.
No, they don't want to pay that either. So yeah, this is again going to rumble on for some time, I feel. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Oh, well, we're moving quickly through these stories today. I guess
Yeah.
I would say that you've got to be somewhere to play something, but that doesn't come out till next week, does it?
No. Well, if I'd paid the money, I could have played it today. Or if I'd not paid the money, I could potentially have played it today. But yes, we are talking about Forza Horizon 6, which officially launches on Tuesday. But if you have paid for the premium pack, you can access it today. But it seems it was leaked a few days ago. The full 155 gigabyte unencrypted game build appeared on Steam early, or that's what the headlines ran with. So the initial assumption was that basically Microsoft had accidentally uploaded the build to Steam via preload, and that's where the issue was. It was an unencrypted build. Very similar to what happened to Capcom's Pragmata recently, or they actually did do that. But we had an update from Playground Games, the developer, who have basically denied this. They said they're aware of the reports the build of Forza Horizon 6 has been obtained prior to its release and confirmed this is not the result of a preload issue. So Microsoft got off the hook. It's not their muck up. But what has likely happened, it's come from a reviewer who's used SteamDB's own token dumper tool to pull the files and then leaked it. We don't know who it is yet, but Playground and Microsoft are not taking this lightly. And if you play the game and you're getting hit with a giant ban hammer, aren't you?
The ultimate ban hammer, I think.
Yeah. So it's not you're not only just going to get a franchise-wide ban. So not just for Horizon 6, you want to play any of the Forza games. Your hardware will be banned, so whether it's a console or PC, not just your account, your hardware banned for pretty much well, it's longer than life. You are being banned for 9,999 years.
Well, I love it to say, was it one of the fan sites put out, didn't they, on X, say, Happy Forza Week to all those in the premium edition, which one is. For those of you who got a little overexcited and decided to play, we'll all see you on the 31st of December, 9,999.
Oh, yes. Sorry. It's just an 8,000 year ban on that.
Oh, God. I mean, fair play. Fair play that they've cracked down on this. Obviously not so great for whoever accidentally leaked it or published it. We're not going to speculate on what's happened here. I did do a little bit of snooping. It is in all the the same places you'd expect to find material that should be downloaded.
Yep.
I will not be touching it because it'll come out on Game Pass, so I will
I will get it for free anyway.
But I don't want to have to wait till December 31st, 9,999. But yeah, I mean, I would love to know how many people have been hit with the ban hammer on this. Probably more than you'd imagine, I suspect.
I imagine quite a few.
Yeah, it would be something.
Which is kind of silly because it's an online game. I mean, if you're pirating offline games and unplug your PC from the internet, there's no way for them to know, kind of thing. But it's an online game. If you suddenly start appearing and you don't have a license for this online game, it's obvious that this is a pirate copy.
Well, yeah. And you've got to be pretty daft, haven't you, to want to try and pirate online games these days. And I'm not, look, I'll be very clear, I'm not condoning piracy for a moment, but in the old days, when it was, CD.
When I was young.
When I was a lad, but when it wasn't internet-based, when it wasn't, going to be checked online and you were running it locally, it may have happened. But the minute we moved to online gameplay or it was moved to online checks, you run that risk. I mean, if we go back even further, the first days, it used to be, remember, pick up the manual, page 45 in the manual, paragraph 6, line 4, what is the word? And you'd have to do that.
Oh, yeah. You would.
You'd have to find the word. So now then we moved on to more checks and stuff these days. But yeah, anything online, if you're pirating that, you're a fool, absolute fool, because you're going to get banned, and it's not a quick fix either. It's going to be a long time.
No. So, I mean, you'd have to create a new account and buy new hardware.
And get a new IP address.
Potentially new IP address. And then obviously buy the game again. Your back catalogue, because if you've got Forza 1 to 6 plus Motorsport and all that kind of stuff, then you might have to buy them all again. Yeah,
very, very peculiar. Very peculiar. But there we go. So let's. I'm looking forward to playing next week. I know you are as well, and we should hopefully have some early thoughts on that in our next podcast, hopefully. All right. So talking of gaming still, then Steam.
And Steam.
We are anticipating. That's the right word, isn't it?
Anticipating, yes.
Yes, anticipating. For some reason, it didn't sound right in my head. The launch of the Steam Machine, which we've been talking about now for some time, but due to the RAM apocalypse and storage, chaos, it hasn't appeared. We know what it looks like. We know what the spec is roughly like. What we don't know is the price. But there appears to be suggestions now that there's going to be 4 versions of the Steam Machine, isn't there?
Yeah. So what usually happens when new versions of software come out, especially things like Steam, you have data miners that go through it and find tooth comb and look for potentially new hardware. A Redditor has found some and uploaded to the Steam tracking GitHub page. Basically, it says there are potentially 4 Steam machines and 2 frame packages based on the model numbers in the Steam client. So that's the big question. What are they going to be? I presume for the Steam frame, these are different sizes. Maybe it's a 512 storage version and a 2 terabyte kind of one. But for the Steam machine, this could be different SKUs with different memory, or it could just be a 512, a 2 terabyte with and without a Steam controller, given us 4 models. But at this point, we just don't know because RAM apocalypse.
And I guess, like you said, the sizing makes sense. The Steam machines, I'd imagine, probably similar spec. I guess is I don't want to say budget, but more of an entry level version, perhaps. Through
Yeah,
to
maybe it
high
was
end.
one with, I don't know, 8 gig of RAM rather than 16, or for example, I don't know, but it might make sense to now. But then you get into that problem of people designing games for it, and then you've got different memory amounts. Don't know.
Well, yes, that's a very valid point. But are we going to see the 4 versions? That's the other question. The way it's going, I mean, are we ever going to see the device itself? I'm not suggesting they're going to can it,
They're
but
still saying 2026.
20. Well, yeah. I mean, I suppose technically speaking, there are several months left of 2026 for it
We're
to
only
appear.
in May. There are quite a few left.
Yeah, but I don't know. What's going to change? I mean, I'd argue our price is going to come down. I'm not convinced they will do at the minute.
No.
But is there a point in time where Valve have to say we've got to launch this?
Yeah.
We
There'll
either
become a
launch
point
now.
they're going to have to do it.
Yeah, if we don't launch now, we're never going to be able to launch. So it's got to be it's got to be now or never, and that may or may not have the impact on how that device is received in the marketplace. Is it maybe an issue? But yeah, look, 4 versions make sense. They want to spread their bets across that. They want to ensure that people are being able to buy the device based on their budget, aren't they, and go from there. The Steam frame, could be the upgrade to the VR that you and I have been waiting for.
Definitely.
I don't know whether we can afford it. Might have to sell another child or a kidney. And I mean, if you
can't.
have kidneys left,
I brought a graphics card. I can't afford anything.
You've got no kidneys left. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no. Sell a limb. Sell a limb. You don't need that other leg, do you?
No, that'd be fine.
We can hop along. But yeah, I don't know. I had a SSD fail in my NAS the other day.
Oh, yes.
And it was a cache drive. So luckily I've got 2 cache drives, and I haven't replaced it yet. But looking just at the cost of SSD drives, oh god, that's painful enough at the minute. So
yep, it is.
It's bad times. But anyway, move on that. All right, let's talk about some more hardware then. Let's talk about these new Google Books, which appears to be the next iteration of the Chromebooks, and now based on Android, effectively.
Well, yes and no. I mean, yes, it's another laptop OS coming from Google, but I'm not sure it's the replacement for Chromebooks.
No,
because
okay, fair enough.
Google, I'm just saying, because Google are aiming this at premium hardware. Although, look, the original Chromebook from Google, was it the Pixel Book? I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, the Pixel Book
was very, very nice. It was high-end Mac kind of pro hardware. It was lovely, and it was just running a web browser. I mean, it was hugely overpowered for running Chrome OS. So, I mean, if they are going to stick with it's going to be a premium device and there are certain hardware requirements, etc., then it may not be a direct replacement for Chromebooks.
No, but you've got to argue with Google. You never know when they're going to kill off a product. So place your bets here how long this thing will last. And
well, Chromebooks have been around for 15 years, so I mean,
they've been around for 15 years. But would you argue they've taken off at any point?
Education, yes. Everywhere else, no.
Yeah, I hold reserved comment on that. I don't think they're particularly good machines. I mean,
a school one of my children goes to. Actually, all 4 of my children have gone for it. Have Chromebooks everywhere. It's terrible.
See, my kids have to use iPads, but which is a far better device, as we know.
But I like it. It's not when you're using a computer.
No, but then going into the computer suite at the school was like I've just stepped back 25 years. Some of the stuff that was in there, but hey. So anyway, these Google Book sounds like a joke, doesn't it? Like I've just made that up. Yeah, Google Book.
It does.
So these Google Books then are, according to Google, built for a Gemini first world, aren't they? So effectively, you've got here is some more AI based hardware, which is powered by Android as opposed to Chrome OS.
So, well, it's a new OS, but it's based on Android, is what they're saying.
Based on Android.
Yeah.
So we've gone from a bloated browser to a device now that can properly run applications, albeit mobile style applications. you are going to probably get some familiarity of Android because that's what they based it on. So the
It can
application
run
itself
Android
obviously,
apps. Yep.
and it's designed also to run in conjunction with an Android phone as well, isn't it? So there's a lot of sort of
Yeah.
handover.
So,
You
like
start
Apple with a Mac and iPhone and the streaming and the handoff and stuff like that, yeah, it will kind of have those features as well.
But the key star of the show here is the Gemini integration piece, isn't it? And how they want
Yes.
Gemini to work here. So there's new features. There is this magic pointer, they call it, which is an AI-powered cursor. I can't believe we've got AI cursors now.
Yes, wiggle your cursor and transform it to an AI-powered pointer. Have you ever sat on a Zoom with someone sharing their screen? The mouse does not move. It's going to be it's permanently turned into a magic pointer.
I mean, if I wiggle the mouse on my Mac here, I get I get the big cursor.
Yeah, so you can find it. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Not so you can speak to it. Hello,
No,
cursor.
now, yeah. So now, if you do that, it takes a contextual suggestion, whatever you're pointing at. So if you're pointing at a picture, you can then get options on that picture to do things with it. If you had a photo, you can show things how they look together. There's lots of different context aware here that will give you options. So the interesting part, though, is here is that Google aren't making any of their own hardware, though, are they? They've worked with a load of third-party manufacturers to roll this out. So there won't be a Pixel version of this. You're going to get the kind of usual players, aren't you, of Dell, HP, Lenovo, etc.
Zeus, that kind of stuff,
yeah.
Yeah, they've said it should be a focus on premium craftsmanship and materials, not low-end Chromebook hardware. And they will have a glow bar on the lid, which the original Pixel did. The Chromebook Pixel had a glow bar, didn't it? And you could tap it to get a battery indicator.
Oh, God, yeah, I forgot about that.
I love bits and pieces, yeah.
So basically, then we're not having some plastic tat; we're having some high-end plastic tat. Is that what it's saying?
Well, yeah. This is a focus on. Doesn't mean that you're not going to get some tat.
No, I'm sorry. I apologize. The cynic in me, I apologize, is coming out. I think the part of me is because it's AI, and
yeah,
why do we need AI-powered cursors and stuff? But if you,
I would have taken this a lot more serious if Google come out and like, we built a desktop OS or desktop class OS on your laptop, your hardware. You can run Android apps. It does all the grown-up desktop stuff you want, like Windows and Mac OS and Linux does. And we've got a new program that gives you premium hardware that works perfectly with it. I would have gone, oh, okay, you piqued my interest a bit. I'm not sure I'm going to buy one, but it's piqued it a lot more than this.
Yes, exactly. And I think this aligns with a lot of things happening. I read a report the other day that was saying about how many of them. There was some basic hardware report saying about smartphones, and we're saying out of the 6 out of 10 next smartphones that get released across all manufacturers will have deep AI integrations in them. And it's like, oh my God, we're moving into that conversation we had the other week about the OpenAI agentic smartphone, weren't we? And going from there. So it's just, yeah, I don't want to say AI slop because that's not really the right definition, but it's AI for it's a bit like embedding Copilot in every application. You fire up Word today.
They'll all have an AI slop generator built in.
Yeah, they do. Though, look. What I will say is though, the other day, my wife, who doesn't do much with AI, she's not really familiar with it all. Runs her own business on the side, and she wanted to create a maintenance worksheet for some of her contractors. And
Makes
she
sense.
was like, so she said to me, she didn't ask me. She said she sat there at a laptop and she fired up Word, and of course it came up with a slop generator at the top, didn't it? And she put in there, I'd want to make a work, and it gave her a nice, basically it's a table, isn't it, framework. She said everything on it, and she was really pleased that she said I made a few changes and I could copy that into her template with her headed letterheads and all that. So for her that was great. Nothing too complex, but that kind of stuff is great because for her that saved her spending hours trying to find an example or trying to rebuild one that she's seen somewhere else. She got what she wanted. But that kind of generation, I think, is perfect. That's like having, a helpful assistant, isn't it, that does that work for you.
Yeah.
Gives you that. But, when we see a lot of these stuff, and I know to quote Marcus Hutchins on LinkedIn, he's certainly quite vocal about it, isn't he, around a lot of the stuff going on. And I think he posted the other day about a lot of the people he follows, in the industry, very senior people. He said he was getting quite sort of put off by it because a lot of them were posting pure AI slop, weren't they?
And, they just AI just create all their LinkedIn posts for them.
Yeah, and he said they're soulless. There's nothing in there that says it sounded like them, but he didn't want to unfollow them and create a bit of a kind of an issue around sort of why aren't we following things like that. And I think it's the same here. So I think, look, you and I both are pro AI in the right context, aren't we? And
yes,
knowing when to use it. But I think here, just tools for the sake of it. Though I don't know if you've seen the recent TV adverts for one of the Samsung phones, that shows these three young girls with the phone, and they see a picture of these women in the fashion, and they use the phone and they circle the picture, don't they? And it shows them the clothes that these models are wearing.
Oh yeah.
Which again, sort of circle to search, isn't it? I mean, that's not AI. That's just clever search, isn't it? Or am I being old fashioned?
Well, the AI part is it's going to do the search for you.
But Google probably could have done that.
Well, I know. Google already had that. They had image search, reverse image search, basically, isn't it?
That's all effectively what it is, isn't it?
Yes.
It's reverse image search with context.
But we've been through this before. We had AI many years ago. It was just machine learning.
Yeah, exactly.
But we work in tech sales, and it was AI this and AI that, and you were like, it's not AI. It's just machine learning. It's pattern recognition.
Oh gosh, yeah, right. Let's move on before we get stuck down that rabbit hole. All right then. So the last bit was about Google as well. Then, so Google this week also released another new bit of kit called the Google Fitbit Air. So if you've been living under a rock, you won't be aware that Google bought Fitbit. Famous for their trackers and watches, and they've now finally killed off the Fitbit applications and rolled everything into Google Health app. And as part of that launch now. They've released the Fitbit Air, which is a screenless fitness tracker, which goes on your wrist and looks very similar to another brand called Whoop, which is very similar as well. And this new band from Google costs $99 at launch, works with both iOS and Android, pairs with the Google Health app. And it does heart rate sensor for 24/7 monitoring, and it does other oxygen
monitoring, skin temperature variation. It's got like a 3-axis accelerometer, gyroscope, vibration, etc. No GPS, so you're going to need your phone for that one.
But more importantly, what doesn't it have?
A subscription or a screen.
Well, a screen, you're gonna, but this, so no subscription required in whatsoever to use functionality.
But Whoop does.
Yeah, exactly. So this really, I think, is Google's entry-level device into this market. But more importantly, what they're doing here is they are looking to clean up and get that health data into their platform to build it.
Yeah.
So
we say for free though. The most features they've advertised will work with a free Google account. If you want all the features, Google Health Premium account for $9.99 a month, or basically $100 a year. And that'll get you the Google Health Coach with the AI-powered personalized training plan. But you do get the Health Premium free with Google AI Pro or Ultra subscriptions.
Well, there you go. There's always a way around it.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't want one of these. So I'll be upfront. I'm trying to get rid of the Fitbits in our house because Google bought them. We have one left.
Yeah.
And I might just have to go and buy an Apple Watch to get rid of it.
I love it. So, damn you, I'm going to buy somebody else to get rid of you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't. No.
But no. Look, I think this is a very smart move by Google.
Yeah.
Because by having a no subscription device, it gives, let's be honest, most people want the heart rate tracking, they want the sleep tracking, and that all the basic functionality.
Yes.
And given how these look, they're very discreet. You can get different color bands, can't you, for them?
Last for ages.
Yeah,
full week on a single charge. 5 minutes for a day of battery life. It will last a long time. You won't have to think about it.
No, you're right. So it's going to look nice. It's going to, you can blend it with your outfit, whether you're at work or whether you're in the gym, whatever. So look, perfect device. And But I still think this is a very smart move because what they're doing here is to get massive uptake on it, aren't they? So they can get more data into their machine learning models and build out that coaching application. That's what it's for here.
When are Apple going to release one?
Well, great take, but they won't, will they? Because they don't need to. As far as they're concerned, you've got the basic Apple Watch, haven't you?
Yeah. A big difference in price between the Apple Watch SE and this, though.
Yeah. I tell you the thing I don't get, though, is the straps are apparently $35 for some of the straps. And you think about it, I'm paying, it's a bit like an Apple Watch band, to be fair. It's like I'm just paying $35 for a piece of fabric.
Hey, Stosh. Look, I'm sure they will be up for $10, £10 on Amazon shortly.
And also a lot of the third-party people like Nomad and all, I'm sure those other people will
Well, Nomad's not a great example. They don't make cheap straps.
But I have to say, if I didn't have an Apple Watch and I was looking for a tracker, I'd be tempted by this, I think, to be honest with you, given the cost of it. I know a lot of good things about the Whoop. We know a few people who've got these Whoop trackers, and I know a lot of people really like them. But this subscription-free element, I think, is it's a smart move. It really is.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think people are definitely going to go and buy it.
Yeah, so you can go and buy one of these today. I believe they are available. Are they available in the US only at the moment? I can't remember the UK.
I don't have that written down.
I wasn't sure. Actually, I forgot to check whether or not whether you could buy them in the UK or not. I'm going to quickly look that up because I am curious.
I presume so. UK is usually one of the major markets that gets released first.
Yeah. So yes, you can pre-order one today. £85 in the UK. That's not bad actually. And if you say, on the Google Street, you can buy one today, $84.99. Pre-order comes in 4 colors of black, lavender, berry, or fog, which is some kind of sea green. And you get £35 store credit towards your next purchase, so you can get effectively a free band then, couldn't you?
Interesting.
Yeah, and 3 months of Google Health Premium, as you were saying as well. So
yeah,
not bad. Okay, I mean, not that I'm going to go buy them, but I think if it was slightly cheaper, I'd almost be tempted. To be fair, just to play with it. Must not buy. No, anyway, right. Walk away. Right. On that note, then, let me hit this. All right, we've got a couple of rumors in there, so let's kick off the first one then. Tell me about this.
Something we may have to buy. I'm Matt, actually. There have been leaked images revealing the Xbox Elite Free controller with a couple of mysterious new buttons. So the Elite Controller 2 has been out for a while now. I'm not sure when that one came out now, probably 4 or 5 years ago, I think. It's been a while since an update. But yeah, these leaked images came from Brazil's Anatel regulator. Where is it the FCC? Yeah, where you have to go and submit your product designs, especially if they've got radios and stuff, so they can all be tested for interference, etc., etc. So it's got its usual stand fare. It's got its removable thumbsticks. It's got paddles on the back, interchangeable D-pads, blah blah blah. But there are new additions. What look like scroll wheels. So if you've ever used a Logitech MX Master mouse, they have the thumb scroll wheel.
Yes.
And it looks like it's got 2 of those either side of the headphone jack on the bottom of the controller. So I suppose you can move your hands off the D-pad and then use those to scroll.
Okay.
I don't know if they are scrolls. They just look specifically like it. There's also a new pair button. We suspect this is going to be switching between local mode and cloud mode, your cloud gaming. And removable rechargeable battery. The current Elite 2, you cannot remove the back, so it's a built-in battery pack. It'd be nice to change that if need be, or swap in a new one. Excuse me. So there was also another one released, wasn't it, or flagged about there, a smaller one, like a portable controller. I think it's officially an Xbox Cloud gaming controller. Again, smaller battery, looks like a lot of the same features, none of the things on the back like the sticks and the wheels or whatnot, but a small local controller you can just take anywhere. So if you're in a hotel and they've got cloud gaming on the TV, just hook it up.
Again, makes sense given the rise of cloud gaming. We've talked about how that is going to become more prevalent, isn't it, going forward? So yeah, I like the idea of that. It's like you say, stick in your bag, especially for us, pop in the
Yeah.
work bag, and yeah, off we go.
Well,
Yeah,
I'd like to know though, because sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. I mean, look, I'd buy one, but it depends on the cost. That's my.
Hey, so cost was a big one. So the current Elite 2 controller is not a cheap proposition. It's what, £160, if I remember rightly. Yeah, it's I bet the market's moved on. There are plenty of other controllers now with similar or better build quality and more features for half the price. So what's the price going to be on this? And is it going to have things like is it Hall effect or TMR thumbsticks? Kind of eliminate stick drift and give you more precision. A lot of the top-end controllers all have those now. And the Elite 2 hasn't got a great reputation for build quality or stick drift issues.
No. So, I look, I know you are particularly fond of them, and you sing the
But I have issues. I have a sticky shoulder button. I still not only take it apart and try and clean it out. But I play on the PC a lot. I don't actually use control that much. I will be when Horizon comes out. I'll be using that or the steering wheel. But most of my gaming is done with a keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, look, I mean, I only play mine. I mean, I'll have to put some new batteries in it to play Forza. But yeah, look, but I like the idea of it. I like the idea of of a smaller one to travel with. It does sound like a good idea.
Definitely.
All right. So what else we got then?
Actually, talking of something I will probably use a controller for. Grand Theft Auto 6. Well, I'll have to because it's coming out on Xbox only to start. Xbox and PlayStation. Not going to be on PC, so I won't have a choice. But allegedly, due to an accidental Best Buy email, which was sent out, pre-orders will open May the 18th. So Monday. Yes. Multiple content creators and influencers have also come forward saying they received the exact same email. So apparently, yes, we may see pre-orders go live on Monday in a big announcement, which might make sense. I think Take-Two have their next quarterly earnings report, May the 21st. So to be able to add those pre-order numbers in for the investor call would certainly help. It would look good because I bet a lot of people will put money down on Monday if that's announced. I probably will.
So, what are we talking? We're saying November. Are we saying November launch date? Was that
We're still, I think it was still down for November last time we heard. 21st, 22nd, somewhere around there, wasn't it?
An 80 quid launch cost as well.
$80, yeah, for a base edition. I imagine there will be a couple of different flavors or editions coming out. So I think I will just be getting the base edition because I'm going to have to buy it on PC again.
Well, wasn't
November 19th? I've got down as the launch date. There we go.
When GTA 5 came out, and didn't they do like for the first pre-orders? I remember you got like, I don't know, was it like $1 million or something in credits and cash?
Shark something or whatever it's called. In-game currency. Yeah.
Yeah, but there was before that as well. The first ones there was something that was like, I can't remember whether it was a property as well. There was something, wasn't there, that first go round when you bought it. So I suspect, like you say, there'll be something here with them as well to get you incentivized to want to pre-order.
Yeah, pre-orders nowadays quite often come out with extra in-game goodies.
Yeah, I mean, I think the logic's sound. As you say, getting the numbers ready there for the earnings calls. It just seems a long way off though before the game's released, doesn't it? It's sitting there ticking
June,
over.
July, August, September, October. 6 months.
Yeah,
but we've been waiting how long for Grand Theft Auto? When was Grand Theft Auto 5? 15 years ago? 10 years ago?
2013. Yeah, 2013. Yeah, 2013.
2013.
Yeah.
Okay, so 13 years ago.
I know it was because my eldest daughter was a baby when it came out, so I was playing it with him.
I bought it on my PlayStation 3 and then bought it on my Xbox and on my PC.
So did I. PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PC.
Yeah, exactly. So they've had their money's worth out of that one from me. I would like to give him some more money for Grand Theft Auto 6. I would like to have done it just once and bought it on the PC. But hey, we'll see. Next week's podcast, maybe we'll have some news.
Maybe we will, but like I say, don't try and talk about common sense there. So you'd like to buy it once and go from there.
We know that's not happening.
Don't be daft. Don't be daft. All right, that's probably a good place for us to wrap up for today. Then we'll be back with episode 248 next week, again with all the latest news, including what could be the pre-order for GTA 6. But I'm going to hold judgment on that until next week. You of course can find us wherever you get your podcast from. Please tell your friends about us, including YouTube, and all of our show notes are available on techrant.online. So with that, then I've been Jay.
I've been Karl. Have a good one all.